Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. We are back with a new series, a new Netflix series, and we are doing the Ultimatum South Africa. There's already, I believe, 10 episodes up already. I have watched a few of them so far, but I am going to be reacting as I go along to the first few, if I can, and trying to get them on video as quick as I can. So, bear with me. But before we get into episode 1, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button because you know I'm on the road to 1K. Share, like, comment, do all the good things that you do. And let's get into this episode, shall we? So we all are familiar with the concept of the ultimatum and what it's there to do. It says it's there to do some good with these couples. But really, I think it shines a light or a great big old magnifying glass on the issues that are befallen these couples, to be fair, to make them go so far as to make an ultimatum to someone to come on this show, and then the actual prospect of showing them who they are, especially when they're in a different relationship with somebody else that ain't the partner that they came with. I must still say, throughout these episodes, I will not be referring to their partners as their exes, because technically they are not their exes. They are still very much involved with them. It's just the concept of the show. They cannot live with them for now, but they'll end up living with them after the 3 weeks that they've done their trial marriage with the person that they picked. So they literally are supposed to be there to figure out what it is stopping them from saying yes or asking that person to marry them. And what is it that needs to change or needs to happen in order for them to get to that point? So they need to literally really look at their relationship. It ain't just about, can this other person change my point of view, or would I be walking out of here with this other person and not saying I do to the person that I came with? There's a few instances where people are just forgetting the whole concept of the show, but hey ho, we'll get there when we get there. So we already know that there's a couple couples. I did put on my shorts. I introduced the couples. The only people that I'd forgot to put on was Nola and Lebo. So the couples arrive. Nola already sees potential, already sees competition when it comes to the women, yeah? I'm not gonna lie though, the melanin be stunning, the melanin be handsome. I'm just happy we're in the motherland, to be fair. And it's going to take me a bit to get used to stuff, because what we have to consider as well is that the different cultures of each of the people is going to be completely different in regards to how they view being married to someone, to being in a relationship to someone, and then how that view then comes to impact in terms of their own wider circle, their family circle and stuff like that. So Tabby, you see, introduces herself to Scissor Kelly, as I'll call her Scissor through the whole thingy. And basically she wanted to know who Scissor Kelly is with, right? So Scissor Kelly is with Lindelli. And Scissor Kelly responds, "That's my man." I was like, okay. I said, everybody start laughing. Oh, Scissor Kelly was serious. She weren't booking no joke. She may have been thinking, it's a jokey, but no, she was telling you that's her man. Please don't pick her man. So in walks the presenters. They talk about their past, and that with the presenter was actually the guy who gave his now wife the ultimatum. It goes into the introductions of each of the cast members. So you got Tabby, who's with Genesis. She's the one that issued the ultimatum, and they've been together for 7 years. So basically she's saying she made the ultimatum because at the end of the day, Genesis keeps on talking about that it's finances that is stopping him and blocking him from going any further forward, because he wants X, Y and Z in place beforehand. And she's basically saying that Tabby's believing that it's more likely that he's scared because he's able to afford to buy nice things for himself but won't save for a wedding. She thought that bringing him to this show will push him in the right direction. And I'm just kind of like, well, what if it turns out that, Genesis will never be ready for marriage, no matter how much Tabby is ready for marriage. her partner may not be ready for that next step at the end of the day, because there's individuals like that out there. They'll probably appease you and get engaged to you, but you'll be engaged for a hell of a long time and trying to do things for a wedding. That's never going to happen, because they really well and truly don't want to get married, but they then don't want to lose the partner that they're with in the first place. You already know how I feel about ultimatums. I don't like them at all, because I do think it's literally pushing a person into a box and pressurizing them into getting what it is that you want. The only difference is with this show, you don't always get what it is that you are looking for. Okay, you really don't get what it is that you are looking for in order to put them into this box. Anyway, so then they move to Kay, and I will call him Kay. He's with Kanya. The reason why I'm calling him Kay is because I don't want to mess up the pronouncing of his name, and it is very difficult for me to pronounce, as you know, I can't speak good at the best of times at the end of the day, so I don't want to mess his name up basically. So he says that he's nervous. They've only been together for 1 year so far, which is still early. It's a bit early to be thinking about the marriage stages, and I think it's Kanya that's made the ultimatum to Kay. And basically he's saying that he wants to be with his partner, and she knows that he wants to be with her, but for her, he believes that marriage is the validating aspect of him recognizing her as his life partner and wanting to literally take her off the market officially. However, Kay is not ready to take Kanya off the market officially at the end of the day. And I'm kind of like, you've been together for 1 year. For 1 year, that does not show you everything that you need to know about this person in order to try and get them to marry you. 1 year for me is still early. It really is way too early to be thinking about marriage. But throughout this process, I will say that Kanya gives me the impression that she believes she's on another show, not the ultimatum. She just gives off this air of disgustedness all the time, like seriously, and this air of I am better than you. And I will come to why I think that way, because I think it's in a couple more episodes where they do the choices of who they pick and stuff like that. And it's just how she speaks about, more so speaks about Caesar, how she speaks about her, how she talks about her character, how she talks about her appearance and stuff. I'm not warming to Kanya in the slightest. It's also how she speaks to Kay as well. How she speaks to him is absolutely disgusting. And we'll come to that when it comes to the dinner parties and stuff like that. She's just rude. She says she finds it hard to trust. She doesn't trust him because he's quite flirty with the other girls and stuff like that. He's never done nothing to cause her, in essence, is what I can see from reading between the lines, to cause her this distrust. But she's just built this distrust of him. And my thing is if you don't trust this man, why in the hell have you been with him for 1 year, more to the point? And the other point is, why would you bring him onto a show like this? Why would you open him up to the possibilities of how his relationship could be with somebody else? Don't make no sense. It does not make no sense. Kay himself is dealing with trust issues and thinking that he is not enough, but he knows that he is. She wanted to know if he's capable of being her husband, and that's why she's essentially brought him here. That's a round-winded way to literally find out whether he could be a potential husband, because it don't make no sense to me. Because if you've been with him for a year, then you would get to a point of understanding of whether he's going to have the potential to be with you or not. So that's when it's told to them that tonight is a night for final couples, and then their relationships will be on pause. And that's why I said it's on pause, people. They're not your exes. Your relationship is on pause. And this is why I think these people make the mistake of thinking that they are no longer with the person that they came with, and then start showing their arses up and down this place in this experiment. It's about mainly trust and honesty and staying true to yourself. So if you are this person where you're not, I'm in love with this person, I really want to be with this person, you will ensure that you are not moving past certain barriers. And this is another thing with this show. These people, when they know that they're selected to go on this show, don't sit down and have the conversation with their partner about how far to go and what you'll allow or not allow. Do you know what I mean? What you'll allow and accept and what you won't allow and accept. So I don't understand why they don't have that conversation beforehand, because these people up in here think they can do what they like in that relationship. Okay, you could agree, holding hands, fine, kissing, fine, but anything beyond kissing, no. That's a no. That's a no, because all I see that is you just cheated on me, boy. You didn't think about me in that instance at all. And as soon as you muddy the waters with sex, it becomes very difficult to navigate. Not only with the person that you're pretending to be married to, that you've picked out of your own choice, but also with the person that you then have to go back to for a further 3 fucking weeks of this experiment. Do you know what I mean? Especially if it comes out, and that shit always tends to come out. Always tends to come out. You can't hide from it, you can't run from it. So we go on to Ruth and Isaac. So they've been together for 2 years. Ruth has given Isaac the ultimatum. But then she goes on to say that Isaac does not allow her to have any access to his family, to his friends, and she feels hidden. She can't call him, she can only text him. What? And that's been your relationship for 2 whole years. That has been Ruth's relationship for two whole years. Why would you give him an ultimatum? I don't understand. My feet would have took to walking by that point, because if this man thinks he's going to keep me hidden from the rest of his martyred family, and all I can do is only text him and not call him for 2 whole... Yeah, nah. No. They're sitting down and having a meal. So she does say to Isaac, if the questions that she has have not been answered by him, then she's ready for a fresh start, basically. So I says, okay, so it took you coming to this show to say this to this man after 2 whole years of you doing the whole hidden routine. Do you know what I mean? Isaac then says to Ruth that was unfair to put him in that spot, in terms of if her questions are not answered, then she's going to get to step in. Because he's like, what if I can't answer those questions? I'm like, well, after 2 years, my friend, you should have something to say. You should have something to say, because you've kept this woman in a box for 2 whole freaking years that you've known each other, yeah? And you're telling me that you might not be able to answer the questions that she has. Why? It's as simple. Why you're not allowing her into your family life? Why? Ruth turns around and said that she feels that she's being hidden. And Isaac then goes down his culture's route, basically saying that he cannot bring a woman home unless she is his wife. So for the most part, their relationship has been long distance. So that's why Isaac's been able to get away with this bullshit for 2 whole years, because they don't live in the same hemisphere at the moment, to be fair, for them to be seeing each other all the time. So yes, to a point, you're going to have to respect the certain cultures that will be navigated through on this show. But the one thing you can't really do is, once you've been on this show now, is use it as an excuse for the be all and end all, because this woman is saying to you she wants more out of this relationship and she's not happy with what she's been given. So you're either going to open up to that, or you're going to close off to that and tell her no way and make her find somebody else who can. That's all I'm saying. Isaac then decides in his VC, he's breaking down the time that he's actually physically spent with Ruth as part of that 2-year relationship. And he says it's only been 8 months. So I was like, my dude, come on. You're still chatting to this woman via text, albeit via text, probably before you call her, whatever it is they fucking do in their relationship. But don't pin it down to, oh, you've only been physical with each other within that 8 months. So what is he trying to say? That the whole 2 years don't make a pang bit of difference? It's only those 8 months, and that's why it's too early for him to lock himself off to Ruth. So basically, Ruth is saying that she's ready for them to break up if she doesn't get any clarity. So Isaac now says that he has doubts after she said that. And I'm like, Okay, what are these doubts, my friend? What are these doubts? You've been stringing this woman along for 2 whole years. She's called you out, and now you have to face the music on it, yeah, because you made the decision to come on this show. You could leave at any time, as we've seen on this show. Couples can leave, or the other side of the couple can leave if they really, really want to. We've seen that happen. He's turned around and says that Ruth doesn't say to him at all when they do speak. She doesn't say, "Hey baby, how's your day going?" And he just needed that from her. So now Isaac says that he feels pressured. And I'm just like, this is what I mean about an ultimatum. An ultimatum is making a pressure-filled container, basically. It's putting pressure on the other person to start thinking about these things. And if you ain't thinking about them, then what the fuck are you doing? Because if you don't, I'm gone. That's what this is about. So Ruth says that she feels bad in terms of not actually asking him, you know, sometimes, how's your day been, this, that and the other. I think being hidden from his family supersedes all of that shit, to be honest. It's nice to be polite, but you're hiding with your family, do you know what I mean? So we go to Lebo and Nola, and Lebo is the one that gave Nola the ultimatum. They've been together for 1.5 years. And she's saying basically what scares her the most right now is the thought that he might end up with someone else. Yeah, right. Anyway, she says that Nola's communication is very, very poor, and that he can flirt with any random girl, and he keeps calling random girls babe. That would be my first red flag right there. Because him doing that has now caused Lebo some insecurities within the relationship. But she's deducing that these insecurities literally come to pass due to her own past relationships, and that's why she acts in a certain way when it comes to Nola. And I'm saying, no, because if Nola is showing Lebo certain behaviours that is triggering her insecurities, then she needs to look at what it is that he is doing and not give him a pass and a lie by saying, oh, it's due to my own past relationships as to why I'm acting this way. No. Yes, you don't really need to hang on to how other people have made you feel. You need to try and move on and heal from that. And then when you get your next partner, look out for the same types of behaviours that have fed into your insecurities previously, and then try and change the type of man that you're going for. If she's saying that Nola is a flirt and he will call any random girl babe, which then is a high level of disrespect for her and then starts triggering her insecurities, then he right now is the one at fault, and that's what she needs to be looking at. We get to Courtney and Aidan. They are the only white South African couple on the show. So they've been together for 7 years. The ultimatum itself for Aidan makes him feel stressed out, because I think it was Courtney that's given Aidan the ultimatum. She's basically given him the ultimatum because she wants to marry him, and getting married scares him. Absolutely scares him. And I think it's going through. I'm just like, these people in their actual couples have got actual issues, within their marriage. They've got big cracks. In their relationships. But they've come onto this show hoping it will heal those cracks, mend those cracks, and they'll be able to ride off into the sunset together. So Aidan's basically was looking at all the negatives that marriage can bring, and this is the problem. Stop looking at the negatives that marriage can bring. At the end of the day, you've been with this woman for 7 years. What are you doing next? If it's a case of, I don't want to get married ever, then tell the woman that. If it's not, yes, I do want to get married to you, then you need to give this woman a fucking timeline of even when you're going to ask her. Do you know what I mean? Give her a freaking timeline. Then you won't be in a situation like this. Aidan then continues talking about the fear that he has in terms of getting married. And I know marriage is a damn big step. And then straight after that, Aidan turns around And he's basically coming from the view that it's a lot harder to break out of than never getting married. So my man is thinking that if I was to get married and it didn't work out, it's a lot harder to release yourself from that person than it is if you were just boyfriend and girlfriend. Why is he on this show again? Anyway. So it goes to Caesar and Lindelli. Now they've been together for 6 months. I'm just like, too early to give an ultimatum at this stage. Way too early. You ain't done the old grinding off at this relationship to know that you're ready to get married to this person in 6 months. And it's actually Lindelli that's given Caesar the ultimatum because she is not ready to get married, right? He actually asked her 3 months in. 3 months in. And I'm like, what is his rush? What is Lindelli's rush? Because how they started out as a couple is they were neighbours first and then they got to know each other as friends and got quite close. Caesar at the moment sees this situation as her starting to lose her friend now she's been in a relationship with Lindelli. But my thing is, again, 3 months, after 3 months you've been asking this woman to marry you. You've only been together for 6. You don't know her. She don't really know you except the fact that you were neighbours. Anyway, so it goes to Kenya and Kay. And Kay wants reassurance before he does the split from Kenya. He tells her basically that he needs to hear her say to him that she loves him and that she trusts him. Kenya says that she loves him, but she has trust issues. So basically he's saying that he wants confirmation, regardless of what happens, that I love you. I'm like, it don't work that way. It really don't work that way. And this is why I'm saying my thing is if you already have trust issues within your relationship and before going into this experience, it's not going to make you feel more positive when you start to see your man with another woman, and especially A, if he finds that woman hella attractive, B, if he finds her very sexually attractive, yeah, and C, if he gets on with her like a house on fire. You see them holding hands, flirting, touching, doing all of that stuff. That's not going to help you with your trust issues, is it? It really ain't. And this is why I say these couples have a lot of cracks that they needed to fix before they started giving ultimatums to anybody up in here. They all now move out to their own little places, and they're all singles. They go to their singles night now to get to know and choose a partner, basically. So you see them all walking down to the part where they're all going to meet, because it's literally going to be like speed dating. And you see Aidan walk down, and Aidan's basically saying it feels good to be starting the day as a single man. Freedom. I was like, oh, okay, righto then, Aidan. You do you. I suppose you do you. So Ruth is completely unhappy that Isaac did not greet her, because Isaac's already gone with the wind, my friend. Isaac ain't about Ruth in the slightest. I don't see, he's not about Ruth in the slightest. I mean, if he's hidden her for 2 years, he was never about that woman. So the speed dating happens between the couples. You see Kay goes straight for Tabby, and you know, she's already looking at him, she's already flirting with him because she was already interested in him in anyway. And then it kind of pans to Kenya, and she was standoffish as hell, man. She was not really entertaining any of these guys. The only guy she seemed to entertain was Isaac. She looked like she was bored as fuck with each and every guy that came to talk to her, and you could see on her face, and you could see how she was talking to them. So Lindelli speaks to Ruth, and she likes him a lot, it seems, and he appears to like her too. So you see Courtney having a chat to Kay, and she feels that she has a good attraction to Kay. So she says to Kay that she's come here to basically find out if Aidan is her true love. And I'm like, hey, you've been with him for 7 years. I'm just thinking in my head, because if you've been with a person for 7 years, wouldn't you get to a point of knowing whether they're your love or one love, or is there somebody else out there? You'd have those doubts, you'd have those feelings come up. So don't understand why being on the ultimatum is going to make you realise or not realise whether that man is your love or not. Don't make no sense. So we get to Courtney and Genesis, and like they're doing the usual questions in terms of like and stuff like that, but apparently Courtney likes to be in Genesis' company as well, and they are making each other laugh, and Courtney was basically saying that she is attracted to Genesis. So that's two people Courtney is liking, which is Kay and Genesis at this moment in time. So you go to Isaac and Caesar, and Caesar is explaining to Isaac that she doesn't really know whether she wants to have kids or not at this moment in time. She doesn't want to get married at all until she's about 40 or 50. Isaac like that, because he ain't looking to get married. Isaac's looking to get his funny. He ain't looking to get married right now. So Isaac basically likes Caesar because it feels as though he's talking to one of his homies. She's one of the boys, basically. And I was just like, yeah, because you don't want the headache of being questioned for why you've hidden Ruth for 2 motherfucking years at the end of the day. You don't want the headache of Ruth constantly probably telling you, where is this relationship going? When am I going to meet your family? When am I going to meet your friends? What are we doing? How are we progressing? How are we moving forward? He don't want to hear none of that. He just wants his cake and eat it. That's what he wants. That's what Isaac wants. So Kay and Caesar talk as well, and you could tell that Caesar was liking a little bit of Kay. She really was. She was getting tongue-tied and everything when she was talking to this man. Kay has basically said that he can vibe with her, and when he had to get up to go and leave, he was like, I don't want to leave, and she was laughing. Now, if I have to pick a favourite so far, I do like Caesar. I do. Out of the women, I do like Caesar. She does seem to come off as a nice person. They split the groups up, and some go to a roller skating ring for the next activity, and it's literally inline skating. Majority of them there can't skate, so I don't know who decided to make them go on a freaking full-on state at a roller skating ring is beyond me, because half of them spent their time on their motherfucking asses. But you get to see that Nola and Ruth had a bit of a connection. They've got a bit of a going on, if you know what I mean, because Ruth is basically saying that she's getting tempted by this man. And I was like, well, that's kind of motherfucking quick, because I didn't even see Nola and Ruth talk at the speed dating part, but okay, we'll continue. So Courtney is telling Genesis that he seems confident but cool, because she is actually, I think Courtney is starting to like Genesis, but she also likes Kay as well. So I think she's whittling it down to which one she wants to go for. Genesis basically saying that him having this date has made him realise he can be around other people without even thinking of Tabby. And basically, as I said, Courtney saw Genesis as potential. So you see Lindelli and Ruth. So this is another person that Ruth has connected with, and he to her, besides Nola, and they really seem to be getting on with each other. There's an instant attraction between them both, and Lindelli believes that Ruth may be the perfect match for him. So they all sit down to have this dinner, and you see Courtney talking about her experience so far. So Caesar asked if there was anyone that she was interested in. Now me, I'm like, okay, my girl, okay, Courtney, let's see if you'll be open and honest to the group, because we already know that you are liking a bit of Kay and you are liking a bit of Genesis. So I'm waiting to see if you will put that out there. Does she do that? No, she does not at all. She basically says that she doesn't know everyone yet. I'm like, that is bullshit. That is bullshit, my girl. But obviously you don't want these people to know something. So Nola is basically picked up and says that there is energy from his side. He's talking about the person that he's interested in, which we all know is Ruth. And he believes that they're in sync with each other on that. So Ruth does pipe up at that point and says that she has connected with 2 people. Nola's face just went, oh, And she said, the fuck? What do you mean you've connected with two people? Yes, Nola. She's connected with you and she's connected with Lindelli as well. So I was just thinking it's going to be peak times for you, my friend. Peak times for you, but we shall continue. So Lindelli, as you see his face, straight away knows that Nola has his eye on Ruth as well. And Nola talks about how he and Ruth clicked and that there's chemistry there. This is what Lindelli is seeing. So I'm just like, at this point, Ruth, what freaking pheromones are you dropping right about now? Because you seem to have these guys in a little bit of heat. So Nala does get up and walks around to Ruth's side of the table and basically says, Madame, and wants to pull her away from the group to have a chat with her, basically. So Lindelli is basically seeing it as Nala has now interrupted his intentions for Ruth. So Lindelli sits back and starts having a conversation with Caesar, because Caesar's there on this day, so he stays back and speaks to her. So as he's talking to her, she turns around in the conversation and calls him baby. So he turns to her and says, can you refrain from calling me that? I'm like, my friend, my guy, you mad? Are you mad? That's your gal right there, so she's probably been calling you her baby for the 6 months that you've been in a freaking relationship with each other. That's going to be hard for her to motherfucking switch off. I thought Lindelli being rude. Lindelli was being rude. So he then wanted to turn around and asked her, in terms of her feelings, what her motive is in terms of dating other people. And Caesar turned around and says to him, I'm dating you because I love you. And now he wanted her to refrain from saying I love you to him. I'm like, bitch, it's day one of this experiment, and already you're on your fuck shit. Already man is on his fuck shit. Imagine you sit down and you're having a conversation with your girl, asking them their feelings in regards to the situation and what's happened, not realizing how you're making your woman feel each time you shut her down and using endearments for yourself. What she's always probably said to you, the fact that you know that she loves you and this, that and the other. But yet, you want her to refrain from using them within this experiment. Yeah, I would have got up off that table at that moment in time and said, you know what? I can't stay here with you. I need to go cool off. I need to go take a walk, do something. But me and you chatting right now, I ain't nah. So you see Nola and Ruth talking. Now he really wants Ruth. Nola really wants Ruth because he's telling her that their energies match and that she's every man's dream. And then he goes on to ask her, well, how would you feel about being Mrs. Ruth? And then says his last name. Like, oh boy, what? It was at that point, Lebo who for this man. But Ruth was fully in it. Ruth was fully in this back and forth with this man. I was like, okay, so she's literally saying as well, Isaac who? I think she should say it anyway, Isaac who, because that man ain't no good for her. So we get to see the other couples who have gone to do salsa dancing. Isaac was loving himself because he was with Kanya, because Isaac has set his sights firmly on Kanya, and it looks like Kanya has probably set her sights firmly on Isaac. Kay was not liking the flirt and back and forth that was going on with between Kanya and Isaac, but I thought that's the pot calling the kettle black, my love, because she just had to watch you be flirting up and doing what you was doing with Tabby, because she could see that you had that little bit of chemistry with this girl. So no, don't do that. So I think it was Kanya and Isaac went and had a conversation with themselves when they were all sitting, when they were all went out to some type of terrace type thing for drinks and this, that and the other, and the others were all chatting. Kay was not liking it in the slightest. He was not liking the fact that this man has pulled her away from the rest of the group and he's making her laugh, because apparently he didn't like to see another man making her laugh. So when they've all joined in together, the conversation kind of stilted between Kanya and Isaac. So then you see Kay take Kanya to the one side to have this little chat with her, and basically was telling her that I don't like it seeing other men making you laugh. I should be the one making you laugh. I should be the one making you happy. And Canyon was basically turning around and saying, oh, he's turning around and point blank said to him, and this is where I was saying that she was rude as fuck, that she don't believe a word that he said. He's always chat. Now it's time to show some action, basically. So she was literally putting him down because she was saying that she refuses to wait another December, and if he wants to continue to talk, then to let her move on so she can be with someone who can give her what she wants. I'm just like, you gave him the motherfucking ultimatum, gal. Do you know what I mean? You gave him the ultimatum. He's shown you and told you that he is not ready for marriage right now. He don't want to lock things off with you right now. It's only been a freaking year between these two. She's the one with the trust issues, and I don't think it's necessarily him giving her those issues. It's something that she has always carried with her, and now she's putting her issues onto him. Now my thing is why are you still in a relationship with this man if you don't trust him? If you don't have no trust, you have nothing. So why is she still there instead of turning around and trying to fix their communication and talk to each other easily? She was literally digging this man out, like raw digging this man out. And this is where the episode ended. But I will be back in quick succession with the next episode. As I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. Please, comment, share, like, because I am on the road to 1K. So I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.